Hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to, I think, as you're watching this, the first discography deep dive in this format for over a month, I think. And back with a bang with Queens of the Stone Age. Of course, if you hadn't have guessed by the stuff behind Ryan. Now, this is going to be an interesting band because I'll let Ryan talk about them in a minute. But for me, I knew three albums of the eight. Um, and yeah, I enjoyed them all to varying degrees. So I was interested to check out the rest of their discography. And it definitely didn't go how I expected it to go. So uh,
Mm.
that's what I'll say. Ryan, I know quite a different perspective on this band.
Yeah, I absolutely love Queens of Stone. It's one of my favorite bands. I play them all the time, and three albums, kind of the big three albums. So I'm interested what you got to say. If there's a change up there. Also, I listened to them ones first, and I knew all the discography. Some more than others, and there has been a bit of change in opinion for me as well. Some surprises, and some of it has not changed. Some of it I got the same opinion, either love or middling it. But yeah, I absolutely love this band. Listen to them pretty much every day. At least listen to one song by them. So yeah, love them.
Would you say a top 10 artist for you?
Yeah, they're definitely a top 10.
Mm.
Just in terms of how much I listen to them. There's not many bands to listen to this much. Like even like the Beatles or Radiohead. I don't listen to them as much as Queen's.
Very cool, very cool. So I am going to go first since you went first for Guns N' Roses. My number eight is not the album that most people put at number eight. It is the newest album in Times New Roman, which I have as a 6 out of 10. So not a bad place to start off. Um, I think there was a lot of hype generated for this album based on the singles, and I think the hype died pretty quickly after the album came out. Not that people thought it was bad, but I think there was a level of disappointment considering how much people were enjoying the singles. Um, I do really like Obscenery as an opener. I like when they do these really sort of oddball, weird structures where they sort of have like a lot of noisy parts and then quieter parts and then fast parts and slow parts. Always works really cool. You got Paper Machete, which is a great song title, but the song itself is not that great. Um, the songs like Negative Space, which I feel like is ground they'd covered better in the past. And it just feels a little bit by the numbers for the most part. You know, I quite enjoyed when they would take some more risks a bit earlier in their career, which will be reflected slightly in my list. And yeah, for that reason, I think this album doesn't really stand out. I really like Carnivore and obviously Emotion Sickness, which I think is the best song on the album. Um, but yeah, it kind of just passed me by a bit. It feels very by the numbers, and for their eighth album, it doesn't feel very inspired. So 6 out of 10, it's solid. There are good riffs, a few good songs, but of all their albums, it's the one I'm like least likely to go back to.
Okay, fair enough. I've got a different bottom, probably the one you were mentioned talking about. I've got Villains last. You did predict it. Yeah, I'm 6 out of 10 as well. So there's no bad albums from Queens, in my opinion. Obviously, it's got Matt Ronson production, which is what a lot of people talk about. And yeah, it's not great. Don't quite fit Queens that well. But more for me, it's just these songs are not the best from them. They are a bit flat. And Record of General was a bit flat. Even like the opener, Feet Don't Fail Me. It's kind of got this intro, which is a bit slow, and the groove, really nice groove, but it doesn't change up. There's not enough change ups on the album. Not loads of weird bits, which is what I love about them. All these change up, like you were mentioning in Obscenery. That song's got loads of change up, loads of weird bits. That's what I really like about Queens. And this album doesn't quite have that for me. Still pretty good. The way it used to be is fun, kind of ZZ Top, fun rocker. Um, and The Evil Has Landed is my favourite song. That's a really good song. But yeah, overall 6 out of 10. Bit flat, bit middle of the road. Not the best production, but still Queens, so I like it.
Yeah, nice. People aren't going to like where I've got that album, so I'm gonna just keep on going. But what people are going to like is that I'm up to a 7 already at my number 7, and I can give it away now that I actually enjoyed this discography a lot more than I thought I would, considering what I thought of the 3 albums that I knew. So my number 7 is started with the latest album, and my number 7 is their debut album, Queens of the Stone Age, at 7 out of 10. It's kind of a similar problem I have with In Times New Roman, where it is just a bit basic and a bit I don't know. It feels a little bit inconsequential after hearing what came afterwards. Like when I first heard it, I was like, yeah, this is cool. It's a solid, good album. And I still think it is good. It's just that I don't think, aside from a couple exceptions, there are any essential Queen of the Stone Age songs here. And even though it's good all the way through, it's not all that exciting. I do think Regular John is a great way to kick off the discography. The guitar is so pounding, and you get a sense of Josh Homme's really cool vocal style, where he has these like occasionally really smooth like falsetto singing over this like really ragged music, which I think is a really cool quality. Um, yeah, Avon, which is this sort of really heavy, sludgy song. This is probably the most, I don't want to say it's metal influence, maybe a little bit, but it does feel more sort of heavy than a lot of what the stuff they would do afterwards. If Only, I think, has a great riff. Vocals really cool. Definitely one of the highlights. Um, Walking on the Sidewalks takes things a bit slower, but the guitar work is still really cool. Last minute or two made me think my streaming service had glitched and it was playing the same 3 seconds over and over. But yeah, it's cool. You Would Know, I think, has some like really busy production, which is kind of annoying with all the sound effects and stuff, which is kind of doesn't really work for me. There's quite a bit of filler here, I'll be honest, but the good songs are really good, and I think my favorite one is You Can't Quit Me Baby, with that fat bass line that starts the song. It's immediately ear grabbing, and I love how it sort of speeds up and becomes like sort of nightmarish. The drums on that song are absolutely incredible. Every time I listen to it, I'm like tapping my toe and nodding my head. It's great. Give the Mule What He Wants, great bass line as well. And then, yeah, I Was a Teenage Hand Model is pretty nice closer, really cool synths. They would work synths into their albums quite a bit at different points with varying degrees of success, and I think that was a good example of it. But I think most people would agree that I'm not giving too much away in saying that the second album is quite the jump from the debut. So 7 out of 10 is good. Queens of the Stone Age.
Very nice. Yeah, once again, I'm at 7 out of 10, but a different album, Era Vulgaris, from 2007. And yeah, quite often seen as their most experimental album. It is very weird, and sometimes it hits and sometimes it misses for me. Once again, there's a few kind of flat songs on this one, which bring it down to the 7. Because on the listen back, some of these songs grew on me so much, specifically the opener, Turning on the Screw. That riff is insane, and the vocals over it are so weird, but so catchy and so memorable. I absolutely love that song now. And yeah, there's a couple of line-up changes. Matt Lanigan doesn't seem to be in the band as much anymore, just as backing vocals on one of the tracks. But yeah, overall, there's loads of weird grooves. Sick, sick, sick. It goes so hard. And that one's got Julian Casablancas doing some backing vocals on it. Wouldn't know if I didn't go on Wikipedia, but there you are. He's on there. And Into Hollow, yeah, that's quite a relaxed one. One that I feel like Matt Lanigan could be singing, but Homme does a nice job. Make It a Chew, yeah, relaxed one, kind of blues rock, standard. And 3+7 has some great riffs as well. And yeah, overall, it's solid stuff. A couple of flat tracks bring it down to 7 to me, but very fun. Listen.
Yep, that's my number 6, Era Vulgaris, also at 7 out of 10. I really respect that they went into a different direction, and I think it was necessary, because I do really like the 3 albums before this, but I think it had reached a point where they needed to do something different because it would have got stale, I think. And I think you're right. Not all the experiments work, but just the fact that they changed things up is really cool. I think Turning on the Screw is yeah, absolutely wild opener. It's so ragged and all over the place, and it works really well to start off the album to sort of announce like, yeah, this is not going to be the same old Queens of the Stone Age. 666 starts with like this yelp, and it's like very much establishing that it's a rawer side of the band. Um, Julian Casablancas showing up pretty cool. Um, you get Misfit Love, which has some really cool sort of unhinged guitar. Um, I think that's probably the best aspect of the record is the guitar work because it's so wild and all over the place. Then you get Battery Acid, which I think is a bit too far into the all over the placeness. Yeah, Make It With You is an outlier on the album in its sound, and it is really nice, really mellow. There's a really good version of it with PJ Harvey, which is really great, and that's my preferred version. But the album version is great too. Then you go straight into threes and sevens, which is also awesome. And all of a sudden, the album has risen in quality at that point. After the first song, it's a bit of a sluggish start, but those two songs are fantastic. And then yeah, it ends fairly well. It's a strange listen. It's disjointed. It has very high highs. It's pretty engaging because of the variety compared to their other work. And some of the experiments don't work, but I do think it's a good album that does keep you on your toes. It's just not. With some work, this could have been really exciting and one of their very best albums, but I think some of it is a bit too just thrown together and not that purposeful. So, Era Vulgaris is my number 6, 7 out of 10. Good album.
Okay, very nice. My number 6, you've already mentioned it. I've got the debut album, Queens of Stone Age. I'm up to 8 out of 10 now. So already pretty high scores. Yeah, and this one did used to be a lot lower. It used to be a 6 out of 10. I thought it was a bit basic, kind of just heavy riffs. I've got into Caius a lot more, and I see a lot of familiarities between them. Obviously, Josh Homme and the drummer are from Caius, and it's just them two doing everything, and as well as the guest musicians as well. And you're right, it is a lot more metal kind of influenced. But the difference is the kind of songs are way more catchy than Caius songs. And plus the singer, Josh Homme's vocals and his harmonies and stuff are just so much nicer than that Caius singer used to be. He was a proper metal singer. So it's a different edge on it, which I really like. The first 4 songs for me, really banging, walking on the sidewalks. Yeah, it's a weird outro, but it's a lot of fun. That bass is so thick and it's just outrageous. Mexicola is probably my favorite song. It goes so hard. Proper kind of headbanging song. Yeah, You Can't Quit Me Baby. Really psychedelic one. Proper stoner rock song. And yeah, I think the album's really strong. Really good on me on this album. I agree. There's no essential Queens of Stone Age songs here. I think overall it's really strong. Yeah, I really enjoyed this one when coming back to it.
Well, I was kind of hoping that review would never end because my number 5 is the one that's going to get me in the most trouble.
Ooh.
Like Clockwork is my number 5, a 7 out of 10. This was one of the 3 that I'd heard before, and it was the one I didn't really get. And it was fun to re-listen to it because there were songs that I'd forgotten about that I do really love. But I was reminded of what my problems were with it, and I pretty much the first half of the album, aside from I Sat by the Ocean, is not really grabbing me. Keep Your Eyes Peeled, parts of it work, but I don't think it works as a whole. It reminds me of some of the moments on Era Vulgaris where it is a bit too all over the place. And yeah, but I Sat by the Ocean is great. Vampire of Time and Memory, those synths don't sound too great for my ears. I don't think it creates a very full sound. If I Had to Tail doesn't do much for me either. Hearing Alex Turner's backing vocals in the outro was the nail in the coffin. And then you get My God Is the Sun, which is another song that largely passes me by. But second half of the album is really strong, I think. I think Colopsia is pretty cool. I like how it starts really mellow and then sort of explodes. Fair Weather Friends is so great. Showcase of Homie's sort of vocal qualities, and having Elton John play piano on it is such a random, cool thing. Um, Smooth Sailing is cool. Love the riffs throughout and really great hook. And then you get I Appear Missing, which is just incredible. It is so beautiful. And then you close on the title track, which is a nice way to end the album. So it's a weird one for me where it's almost split in half. Where second half tracks I love, first half tracks I'm not as big on. But I Sat by the Ocean is the exception. And yeah, as a full listen, it's not an album that I get too excited about, but there are songs that I definitely take away, particularly I Appear Missing, which I think are really, really great. So sorry it's so low, but I do like it, just not as much as everybody else seems to.
Fair enough. Fair enough. My number 5, I've got the new album In Times New Roman. 8 out of 10 again. These 8 out of 10s are pretty tight, but yeah, this is a really solid one for me. I really, really enjoyed this. I tried not to get too recently biased, too not hyped, but it's just really consistent album all the way through. Quite a dark album, themes and musically as well. Really dark sound, really hard rocking sound. Going back to that, big step up from Villains for me, in my opinion. Yeah, and it's about he's lost a lot of people. He's lost a lot of people close to him, hence all the long breaks between albums. And he's a divorce with his wife, quite public as well. There's a lot of that on the lyrics. I love Obscenery as an opener. It's so weird, like you said. The strings in it, and it's really all over the place. And I absolutely love that with Queens. And it's kind of like this album. This is the Obscenery. This is my life. This is Obscenery. So I really like that. Paper Mache. Yeah, kind of like a diss track to his ex-wife now, lyrically, which is entertaining, and yeah, it's a really good rocker in my opinion. Negative Space and Time and Place, both really good grooves, really nice bass on both of them ones. Yeah, super nice to listen to. And it's worth mentioning, no guest musicians in this, just the band rocking out for the first time. All the other ones have a lot of guests on it, but it's just them rocking out. And I think for a personal album like this, that's what you want. Yeah, it works for me. Kind of I wasn't too sure of it as a single when I first heard it, because it is so different to Emotion Sickness, which is also great. But yeah, that's an absolute brilliant song. I love that one. And it's probably got the best line on the album, every living thing will die, from King of the Jungle to Butterfly. Great line there. And a really consistent album. I like it start to finish, really. It keeps that 8 out of 10 for pretty much all the songs.
Yeah, very nice. I was just checking on my phone there. You know, you talked about like people who have passed away, and you know Mark Lanigan being one of them at just 57. Right? That's
Exactly. Yeah.
you know, it's one thing to lose people a lot older than you, but people who are like peers is another thing. I feel like so. Yeah. My number 4. Everybody, calm down. Calm down. My number 4 is Villains. Calm down. Their least successful album critically, so my expectations were very low going in. And then Feet Don't Fail Me, Feet Don't Fail Me, just absolutely blew me away. I think it's impossibly cool and different. I love that slow build at the start with the synths, and then the groove is so nasty. It is. I feel like he does have some Bowie-esque moments. I think this is one of the most. This album has the most of that. I love the line "one foot in the gutter, one in the clouds." That's so awesome. And yeah, it's genuinely one of my absolute favorite songs from the band. I think it's incredible, and I was immediately hooked. I was like, okay, wow. And considering right after like Clockwork, which I did enjoy, but the start of that album, I was a bit like, this one hooked me in immediately. The Way You Used to Do is another treat. Some of the nastiest riffs and some great songwriting from Josh as per. Great melodies throughout the song. Domesticated Animals is cool. Love the guitar part. And again, very very inspired, very thick and crunchy sound, very evil style to it. It's real like attracting atmosphere to the album. I think I absolutely love Fortress. That chorus is one of their best, I think. After the sort of atmospheric start, it sort of settles into another fantastic groove. Yeah, Head Like a Haunted House feels more like a sort of Nick Oliveri song. Of course, neither of us have mentioned the Nick Oliveri really yet, because obviously he was not in the band for that long, which is pretty cool to hear that style done again. The sort of carefree, humorous swagger to the album, which I get wouldn't be everyone's thing coming after the more dark, like Clockwork, but this one does feel more like confident, and yeah, there's like a sort of devilish confidence to this, which is really cool. And yeah, there's just the last few songs aren't quite as great until you get Villains of Circumstance, which is almost like a poppy song, which I get again, I get wouldn't be everybody's favorite thing, but it is a great song. And yeah, I think it's a really misunderstood album. So many great songs. I don't think there are any real stinkers on it. Sure, you're right, the production isn't the best, but I still think that the synth sounds sound pretty great. And honestly, I think they're integrated better than on Like Clockwork for me. But I can see how you could have an issue with the guitar tones and stuff, but I enjoy them. I think it sounds really good, for my personal taste, but I could never put it above those albums in my top three, because I can acknowledge that those are the best my favorite Queens of the Stone Age albums, because I know they're not everybody's top three. But yeah, Villains at an 8 out of 10 is my number 4.
Very nice. Very nice. Yeah, my number 4, probably no surprise to see, I've got Lullabies to Paralyze. Um, I always think this one kind of fits the time, 2005. It gives me kind of emo vibes. And there's some live stuff that I'm playing, they're all wearing black, they look very eerie. And this one works. It's very dark feel. It's got on Wikipedia, we mentioned it, all these collabs and stuff. And it's got my favorite one on it. It's got Jack Black hand claps and stomps on Burn the Witch. That is definitely my favorite one. And you would never know that, but yeah, it does a great job with them ones. And that's a great song. That's so classic. Opens to this lullaby, setting that dark kind of theme, kind of spooky theme. Matt Lanigan singing. Medication is a nice one, just straight up rocker. Everyone knows that you're insane. Take up and played. There's a really good run here from track 3 till 7. It's really strong run there. Little Sister, what a song that is. So replayable, and the guitars on it so tight. We get Troy Van Leeuwen joins the band on the guitar. And of course, Dave Grohl's gone. So we get Joey Castillo on drums. Obviously, Nick Oliveri fired from the band. I'm not really sure why. I think there was some disagreements there, something. But he was fired for the band, which is a shame, really. Maybe we're missing him a bit because there's not loads of variety on the album. And it is quite long. Probably sets it back from the 9 out of 10. But yeah, there's lots to like here. Someone's in the Wolf, great song, really good rocker. That one grew on me quite a bit. But yeah, overall, lots to like here. I'm just a solid Queens of the Stone Age listen from start to finish.
Yeah, I think there was something about Nick Oliveri, like he did something. I don't know. I think it
I
was.
can't quite remember it, but there was something that he did.
There was some
I'm not
criminal
sure.
charges later on
There
in like
was.
the early 2010s, but yeah, he was a pretty troubled guy, I think. But I think they do lose something in losing him, and especially I think in losing Mark Lanigan, because I think one of the main things that this deep dive has made me want to do is check out Mark Lanigan and Screaming Trees and stuff, because I love Josh Homme's voice, but when Mark Lanigan comes in, it's such a cool to have the different vocals in there. And his voice is so unique. And of course, he is on all of my top 3. My number 3 is also your number 4, Lullabies to Paralyze. I agree. The opener, this lullaby, is a really cool sort of ominous tone setter. It's really weird that it starts with 2 such short songs, right? You get Mark Lanigan singing that first one, and the second one, Medication, is sort of that more what you expect from Queens, but it's still a very short song. And then Everybody Knows That You're Insane is the first sort of fully fledged song, and so cool. It's got those creepy arpeggios and the squealing guitar. I wrote down this is almost reminiscent of like OK Computer in that sort of like moody, atmospheric 90s style rock, which so cool. I love Tangled Up in Plaid. That's so odd and creepy, but so cool at the same time. Seems they're gunning for a bit more of like a gothic, spooky sound, which works really well for me. Josh sounds so good on that song. Burn the Witch was one I had heard before. Not so sure about the verses, but the chorus is undeniable. And In My Head is not bad. Little Sister, you're right, is fantastic. I Never Came is this sort of more mellow, welcome change of pace. Someone's in the Wolf is this epic sort of soaring, angry song, which I really like. And then yeah, the album does tail off a little bit. I could probably do without a few tracks near the end. It has this sort of like candlelit Halloween night vibe, which I think is really cool. And I do appreciate whenever an album has that sort of like time and place vibe where you can listen to it in a certain setting and enjoy it even more. Whereas I think, Songs for the Deaf was this sort of like scorching desert album. This is like a really cold sort of autumn night, and it's really cool for that reason. I think it's a little bit underrated just because of the two albums it comes directly after, and obviously I think the conventional top three would be the two albums I haven't mentioned and Like Clockwork. So I do think it deserves a little bit more of attention because I don't think it's that far behind my number two. But I just think, it does lose its way a little bit near the end, which is the only thing that drags it down to an 8 out of 10 for Lullabies to Paralyze.
Very nice, very nice. Well, my number three, and it is, I'd say the big three kind of Queens of the Stone Age albums, most popular, seem to get the best reviews. My number three is Like Clockwork. I'm going for a 9 out of 10 now. I'm up in the 9s out of 10 already. Yeah, I love this album. I do love this album, of course I do. Keep Your Eyes Peeled. I love that kind of stomping, slow rocker. I'm going back to it. I like it even more than I thought I did. It wasn't one that was even in my playlist or much rotation, but since I've gone back to the album, it's on the rotation. Big kind of stomping rocker. Fits there, really sludgy, kind of more stoner rock vibe they're doing this time. Saturday Ocean, yeah, you're right, that's great. We can agree on that. It's a both brilliant song. Vampire Time and Memory, I really like that one. I think that's one of the best kind of ballads to do. Absolutely love the vocal on that one. It's brilliant. If On a Tail as well, really cool guitars, really nice groovy one. Which I really like. Like you say, I like all these songs. My God is a Sun, brilliant rocker. Forever Friends might be my least favorite, and he gave it a lot of hype. Weird one for Elton John to be playing piano on. There's not a lot of piano. There's kind of Vampire Time Memory and Like Clockwork kind of would be like more Elton John vibe, but interesting. Still really good though, still strong. Smooth Sailing. Wow, that's such a outrageous riff and groove, and the breakdown in the middle with the guitars. I absolutely love. IP Missing. Yeah, you're right. It's beautiful. It's really, really nice. And Like Clockwork as well. Beautiful ballad. Really, really strong. And it's a bit of a personal album. I think it's hospitalized after operation went wrong and is bedridden, and kind of about his depression and struggles with that. More personal album. So the ballads work for me. A lot of good guest magicians, obviously. We get Dave Grohl. Nicola Berry does backing vocals on track 4, which was interesting. Can't really notice it, but it's just interesting. Same with Matt Lanigan on that track as well. Obviously, we get Alex Turner at the back end. If I Had a Tail, Elton John on piano. So there's lots to like on this album. Really, really strong. Like Clockwork.
So, what is my number one gonna be? Well, I can tell you what my number two is, and then you can figure it out. My number two is Songs for the Deaf, their third album. I'm still at an eight, but I got so close to a nine this time. I was probably a low eight at first, but I've definitely got it a lot more this time around. Um, it is their most acclaimed album, and I could see why. It features some of the most iconic songs and also some underrated ones. And the sort of the radio gimmick concept album type thing gives it a sense of cohesion, which works really nicely. You get the opener, which is probably the heaviest song up to this point. I think my favorite thing about these top two albums is that you get Oliveri, Homme, and Lanigan all singing different songs, and it brings that nice variety on the albums. I think No One Knows, of course, is one of the most iconic songs, bounces along at such a good pace, but I think the song coming after, First It Giveth, is even better. Just so good. That chorus is so anthemic, and once you've heard it once, you're like singing it again and again and again. I think Song for the Dead is so dark and cool, so different to the two more catchy songs that came before. You get Six Shooter, which is, is fine. It's a short Nick Oliveri track. Um, Hanging Tree continues a similar vibe, almost like Nick Cave esque. I feel like, with that sort of dark gothic vibe. Get Go with the Flow, which is a classic, probably the most radio ready rock song they ever did. I think it's such great momentum and so memorable. Gonna Leave You is really memorable as well. It's quite off kilter. Love the really wild guitar. I absolutely love the title track. So dark, really ominous sounding. And then Mosquito Song has got to be one of the best hidden tracks ever, right behind Train in Vain. Is that gorgeous acoustic sound and a welcome respite for the ears after an hour straight of those loud guitars. That's probably, again, for my tastes, an album this long that's this heavy is not going to be like a 10 out of 10, just because there's not much respite of the just loud, especially made at this time, right? With the, I'm not going to go into the loudness wars or whatever, but listening on headphones, it can get a little bit exhausting. But I think because it's so cohesive and, to be honest, quite consistent, it's really close to a nine. I think it's really great. I don't quite put it up as like one of the all-time greats, but it'll definitely get consideration in 2002, and I'll definitely be going back to it because I definitely think with time I could be giving it a nine. So, Songs for the Deaf is my number two. Definitely grew on me. Great album.
Very nice, very nice. Well, we did do predictions of what we thought our last and bottom ones would be, and you got mine spot on. My number two is Rated R, as you would expect. Songs for the Deaf is number one, but yeah, Rated R still a 9 out of 10. Couldn't quite get it to 10 out of 10. Couldn't quite, but 9 out of 10, very strong. And I agree with you. The three vocalists really make the difference on these top two albums. They go super hard, and yeah, it's great having that variety of singers on the album, especially Matt Lanigan. I absolutely love his voice. I've only done one Screaming Trees album. Need to check out more from him because he's such a great singer. Of area as well. Wild singer at times, but can do a really nice one like on that Autopilot. That's a really good vocal from him. Starts obviously Feel Good Hit of the Summer. In Your Face drug song, that one. We get Rob Halford from Judas Priest doing some backing vocals. Couldn't tell, but it's one of them fun Wikipedia facts. Lost Art of Keeping a Secret, absolute classic. What a riff that is to start. And yeah, that's so catchy. The Whatever You Do part. Josh Homme, great vocal. Lego Lamb, yeah, some really nice riffs on that. Great guitar. Autopilot, the drums and vocals stand out for me. Better Living Through Chemistry, yeah, once again, them drums and that riff. And it's got this wild middle section with so much going on. And then we go back to the beginning. That's a great one. Monsters in Your Power Soul is one of the ones that might set it back a little bit repetitive. But it's still a strong song. Quick and Pointless, one of them Oliveri songs you're talking about. They're always fun. just screaming. And it is a little bit quick and pointless, but it is a fun song, and I like them. And In the Fade, wow, what a song In the Fade is. Um, Not one I had on repeat too much before doing this album again, and I was like, wow, I've been sleeping on this one. Matt Lagan's vocal, especially, is top tier on this one. And also, I think I Lost My Headache is one that came back. They've done it a few times on a few different songs. This kind of long outro where they speed up and go really fast in this outro, and then the horns come in, super weird. Really robotic riff at the start as well, super weird, but a lot of fun and so memorable. And yeah, what album this is! Very drug heavy, stoner rock. Rated R, 9 out of 10.
And of course, Rated R is my number one. At a 9 out of 10, I gave it the bump. So yeah, I think this album is just excellent. I agree with most of everything you said. I mean, Feel Good Hit of the Summer has got to be one of the best album openers. Like, it's so memorable instantly and so simple and almost feels like dumb, but like it's so fun and infectious and they pull it off. Then to go straight into Lost Art of Keeping a Secret, so good. Superb chorus. It's a classic for a reason. I think Leg of Lamb is another great one, which kind of gets forgotten because of the songs that are around it. That sort of unique slacker vibe to the song is really cool. Yeah, Autopilot is a perfect song. Nick Oliveri doing something completely different to all his other songs. That sort of like squealing guitar throughout the whole song is like, oh my god, it's such a strange idea to just have that one or two guitar notes just like bending up throughout the whole song, but it just adds so much to it. And yeah, I love that acoustic bridge as well before it kicks back in with the guitars. So cool. Better Living Through Chemistry is awesome. It's got a great soundscape. Again, almost reminds me of like 90s Radiohead in a way. The guitar tone on that song is so cool. And then the second part of the song is really cool as well. It's quite progressive, actually. It's sort of like split into two parts, which I really like. Once in the Parasol, yeah, maybe the slightest step down from the first 5 tracks, but I still think it's really good. The riffs are really awesome. Quick and to the Pointless is one of my more favorite punky tracks they did. Reminds me of Parquet Courts. Mark Lanigan then comes in to sing the fan favorite In the Fade, and I agree with you. I was sleeping on it for sure. The bass line is so sparse. Some really cool keyboard textures that give the song a real weight. The guitar is really cool, and Mark Lanigan's vocals. We got to do a Screaming Trees episode at some point. I think that's what we're realizing. We'll figure out how many albums they got, and then see. But Tension Head is another sort of jamming punk track before you get the laid back Lightning song, which I really like. And then I think I Lost My Headache. I like it. I think the riff is really cool. It's really sludgy. It's just that jazzy free jazz section at the end. I'm like, I could probably do without that. But that's nitpicking. I love this album now more than ever. I definitely will be coming back to it often. There's no real filler on the album. And the best songs are just incredible and such growers as well. Like Autopilot, In the Fade, Feel Good Hit of the Summer. Like they're all massive growers. So really happy to get this up to a 9. I think it's an amazing album and an easy number 1.
Very good. Well, my number 1, Songs for the Deaf, I'm at 10 out of 10 for. I've been for quite some time now. And yeah, this lineup is insane as well. Let's talk about Dave Grohl and his drums.
Dean Ween.
He's insane.
That's the biggest guest star they ever got was Dean.
Oh, and Ween. Yes, I've wrote that down somewhere. He's on 6-shooter. What else is he on? Gonna Leave You, a Mosquito song as well, which you love. Dean Ween making an appearance, which is weird. So weird, but it's a lot of fun. It's interesting. Yeah, Dave Grohl and his drums absolutely shredding. One of the best rock lineups ever, surely, this album. Josh Homme, Dave Grohl, Nick Oliveri, Matt Lanigan as well, of course. The opener, Millionaire, great title. Once again, kind of drug referencing. Because it might not look great, but he feels like a millionaire when he's high on his drugs, and yeah, crazy start. Screaming vocals, so heavy, proper, almost death metal song, really heavy metal song. That one's awesome. No One Knows, classic. What riff? What fun! Like ZZ Top's kind of bluesy riff, and all these songs kind of mimicking the radio. That's why I love this concept so much. They mimic the radio, and they're so catchy. They've all got great choruses, and it sounds like something that could be on the radio. And I love the flicking between stations, as well throughout the album. Song for the Dead. Wow, that song goes so hard, and I love the stop start of it. Um, yeah, that's amazing. Sky is Falling. Great vocals from Josh there. Six Shoot was wild. Go with the Flow, yeah, like you said, Radio Ready. Song for them. And yeah, I can't fault it. It's a 10 out of 10. I absolutely love the concept. I think it just helps the flow so much. And you can really dig into that and dig into this character. And the ending, Song for the Death, is very atmospheric, very dark. And it goes into the hidden Mosquito song, which is lovely. It's absolutely lovely. But still very dark. And yeah, it's a 10 out of 10. I can't praise it enough. Absolutely love it.
Where do you think it ranks in your all-time list for albums? Top 10?
It would, yeah, I'll probably put it top 10. Just because I listen to it so much.
Yeah, nice. Well, there you have it. Queens of the Stone Age fans, you're probably very pleased with Ryan's list and not very pleased with mine, but that's how it goes. Come back in a couple days where we'll be doing our songs list. That's pretty exciting to see what we're going to pick and how much we have in common. And then our next discography is going to be, so we did one of Ryan's favorites that I also like, and our next one is going to be one of my favorites who Ryan also likes, but maybe not as much, is going to be The Replacements. So that's going to be a really fun discography to do. One of my top 5 favorite bands of all time. So it's going to be really, really cool. So yeah, there's going to be Bob Dylan deep dive still going, albums and songs of the year, Ask Me for Classic episodes, plenty of stuff to look forward to, and hopefully we will catch you soon.